Hi guys, welcome back to another GGF video review. Now today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Antec Cube Razer Edition case. Now you've probably seen recently we did a full time-lapse video on this build, but in this video we want to sort of go through our thoughts and sort of judge the case on how we went working with it and sort of the overall quality of the case. Now I really find it much easier to actually do a build in a case to be able to review it and find out any flaws, whereas if you just get a standard case, don't do a build in it and just sort of assume this will go there, this will go there, this will fit there, without actually trying it out. You don't actually get an idea of how well the case works. So as you can see, this is the case here. Definitely you can tell it's been Razer themed. Razer sort of worked with Antec to design this. We got the Razer logo at the front. Now that does glow green, of course. You can't change that, turn it on and off. The only way is if you physically just pull out the plug that runs into, there's like a little fan hub on the back side where all the fans can plug into, and the little logo also plugs in there as well. So that's always on. There are some nice green LED strips that run along each side, on this side and on the other side. That is controlled at the back by a little switch. You can push a switch in and out and that'll turn those on and off. I do like that you can turn those on or off because they are very, very bright. The rest of the case is mainly plastic on the external. The side panels, it's very hard to tell. It feels like very light aluminium or plastic. I'm probably going to say they are plastic just by the way they sort of make a noise. But the top little section, I did have to take the top off something that is aluminium, and then you've just got a very, very dark tinted, sort of tinted clear acrylic for each side, and then on the top it's very, very dark. Now this is very, very scratch. It will scratch, so just have to bear in mind when you are removing the side panels not to put them back on this side because they will mark. As for your front I/O, of course we have your headphone and your microphone, and we have two USB 3.0, and it's a nice touch that they are the Razer green as well. And then we have the Antec logo down the bottom. So pulling off the side panels, it is a very unique shape. I do like this design. It is something a little bit different that's out on the market, mainly because it offers an inverted MITX sort of solution. There's not many cases out there where your video card will be at the top and your motherboard will be under it. They've done that because they've got this massive clear window up the top, and that allows you to see your GPU from the top, and that gives off a nice sort of effect. So to pull the each side cover off, they just push in. They're not screwed or anything. They just use those push-in hooks, and then you just pull it out like that. So this is the build we did. If you haven't seen our time-lapse video, I'll throw that time-lapse build video. I'll throw that in the description below, where we went from start to finish and covered most of this build. We didn't cover things like bending the tube, but we did cover most of it. I also didn't sort of cover in putting in this little screen because I just sort of did that already before I started the video. So that's the build there. So we've got quite a bit going on here. Of course, I had to do a green build, but I wanted to jam as much in to give this case a really good sort of a test, because it said you can fit a 240 rad at the front, you can fit a full-length video card, you can even fit up to a 140mm rad at the back. So I didn't end up putting a rad at the back because I wasn't really cooling the CPU, so I thought I didn't really need it. If I did need it, you can definitely put it in. I did try it, it does fit, but it does sort of come out a little bit. It sort of sticks out. Once you put the fan on, it sort of covers your motherboard area. And MSI did sponsor the Z270i Gaming Pro Carbon, so I really didn't want to cover the whole motherboard with a radiator. So I just went with the bits power up the front. That is quite a thick radiator. I think they're about 53mm thick, and to be able to fit that in a little case like this, have the fans on the inside, and the video card still doesn't touch. I can just fit my finger in between the fans and the video card. Now this is a 980 Ti reference, so it's by no means a small video card, and that went in no worries as well. I guess you'd have issues if you were going to put your in and out ports on the radiator up the top, because then you're going to have issues getting it all in up there. So I just flipped it upside down, and you have a heap of room in this little well. This sort of basement stops about here, and then all in here is just completely hollow. So you can put cables, pumps, res. I've got the fittings going into the radiator down the bottom, so it all fits in there nicely. But yeah, you've got plenty of room. I love how the front is ventilated. It's not just a solid piece like on some cases, and then they put the vents on the side. So this will get a heap of fresh air coming in the front. So basically this case is blowing in from the front and then out through the back. So you're gonna have no worries with cooling your radiators in this case. There is you can see a fan filter. So we got a fan filter on the front. It's just a mesh one, and we've also got one on the It's actually under here. I'm not sure if I can get it with the other side panel on. I might just be able to, yep. So there's one underneath for your power supply, and that's all you need just for the your intake fans. Moving on to some of the other areas, it does take a standard power supply. We've got the Antec Edge. This is a 550 watt. That just fits in the bottom, and that's a full length, so you're really not limited by any length. It just depends on whether you have a reservoir or something in there. Now, we did nearly run into an issue. We got the pass-throughs going here, and these just went just after the power supply. I think the power supply stops here, and now we have the pass-throughs going down there, but that's just the way we did this build. I don't think too many will be going all out like this with having pass-throughs and a little screen and all that in the case. But yeah, some of the other issues, or one main issue I found, not really an issue, is this case is a fingerprint magnet. No matter what you do, pretty much just build the case. Don't worry about cleaning it as you're going. Just build it all, get it done, and then give it a really good clean. I actually find LCD cleaner is what I use on all my builds. It does glass, acrylic, anything you want. And then I just used a microfiber cloth. So just build it all and then use the cloth to clean it. Because yeah, there's no way you can stop fingerprints. Because there's quite a few different sort of textures. You've got sort of a glossy black on the out exteriors. You've got the tinted acrylic on the clear side panels. And then you've also got the matte on the inside. The matte seems to pick up sort of the grease off your fingers, so you'll see a lot of marks there. Just want to cover some other things. Hard drive support. I was really impressed with this case for hard drive support. So all your hard drives go around the back, same with SSDs. Although you can see the two Avexia ones we put there, we simply put these here for the promotional wise for Avexia. We wanted to show off these nice green glowing S100 SSDs. So if I also throw them around the back, it just wouldn't do justice to show them off. So around the back can take two SSDs per standard, and you can also take one standard 3.5-inch mechanical hard drive. But if you don't want to use that 3.5-inch mechanical hard drive, you can swap that out and you can put two SSDs in that place. So you can actually fit 4 SSDs if you don't want to run the 3.5-inch mechanical hard drive spot. So that's pretty sweet, 4 SSDs in a little case like this. Moving on, expansion slots, we have 3. Which actually worked out really good for this build because the video card took up the first 2, and then the second one I just used to pass through the HDMI cable into the video card for the little display. So it is good they're giving you that extra one. I know on a lot of MITX cases you just get the 2 because that's all you need for a double slot video card. Radiator support, we covered that, 240 max at the front. Thickness, probably, if you're even running a smaller video card, you could put this up to like 60 millimeters. So it could fit pretty much any thickness 240 rad at the front. Just bear in mind, if you are running a full length video card, you won't get any thicker than this. This is about a 53 millimeter one, and it can take up to 140 on the rear. And the rear does come pre-installed with one of the Antec RGB fans. I did swap that fan out with pretty much the same fan again, but the ones that I got were silver, so I decided to keep them all with the silver fins. Moving on to some of the other things, covered the LED strips and the PSU. Probably the last thing is the price. You're probably thinking this may have an expensive or sort of a hefty price tag, and yes it does. This does retail at Mway for 349 Australian dollars. That is a bit, but in saying that, I always feel you pay a bit of a premium for MITX. People sort of have the idea that, oh, because you're getting a smaller system, it's going to be cheaper. Not necessarily. MITX systems always carry a premium, whether it's ITX motherboards, anything designed for ITX, because it is quite a niche market. It is starting to broaden a bit, but I think just the fabrication to make the smaller cases and all that, it just sort of ramps the price up. You'll find that a lot of MITX cases aren't any cheaper than standard ATX cases. It is a little bit more being the Razer one. I think the standard non-Razer Antec one of this is about $299. So you're paying about 50 bucks extra for the Razer edition, which to me, I think isn't too bad. So if you are a bit of a Razer fan, definitely 50 bucks probably isn't going to be too much for you. So, and then you can match it with all your peripherals and things like that. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it on this. I think that's everything I had written down. Pretty much it on this sort of review on this case. The only other thing, I'm not going to take it off now, is fitting cables in the back. I've got a bit of a bulge here, only because I just sort of threw them all in, but I did have quite a lot of cables, probably more than what most people would have. I did have all the extensions. This little HDMI screen I have runs a ribbon cable out the back, and it does run a sort of a daughter board, which is this big, And then I've got the HDMI cable running to the GPU, and the smallest I had was about 1 meter long. So I've got all that cable wound up the back. I've got all the SATA cables, so I did have quite a bit going on in this build. So I would recommend, if you are going with this case, go with the sleeve cables straight from the power supply, so the swap out ones than the ones that come with the PSU, rather than extensions, because with extensions you're really just doubling your length. Now what I'm going to do, I might actually turn this on, I haven't done that yet, just so you can see. Cable Mod did send us a few of their RGB strips and the green cables from Cable Mod. Now this is their dual strip controller. So down the bottom it's got UV built into the strip, and it's also got your standard LED. So it's actually a double wide strip. One whole row does UV and the other does normal. So it's actually pretty cool. So turning that on there, so I'm not even sure what I have on at the moment. So I turn them both off. So as you can see, that's just nothing at all. That's just getting light from the fans. And now if I turn the UV on, you sort of get a little bit too much sort of purple going on to the video card, but you can see the green sort of, this is UV reacting coolant. And then if I turn the actual white LED on, you can see it sort of glows the whole system up. So if I turn the UV off, it doesn't do too much once the white's on, but you get the whole sort of the idea of the system, and the green sort of lights up really nice, and you've got the Avexia SSD sort of pulsating green. And in the top, I've got the LED strip just on this little bit of angle here, and once you're looking from the top, it really highlights that video card, the 980 Ti as well, which looks really nice. But yeah, quite impressed with this little case. It's not going to be for everyone. For me, I just did a little showcase build. Antec sent this to review and do a build. So yeah, I just thought I'd sort of go nuts with an all-out green build and see what I could do. But yeah, I want to thank Antec for sending this case out to check out. I want to thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for next time.